Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Little yacht rock. Yacht rock, yes. Yacht rock's great. I love yacht rock. Pablo Cruz. Ever heard the guitar player in Pablo Cruz? I don't even know his name. It's phenomenal. Anyhow, cheers. Happy Sunday. Does anyone notice? Did anyone notice? Cheers. On that thought, just we'll get back to that, but I'm not wearing my Leaf shirt this morning because, as most of you may know, nothing on the screen is there. As most of you may know, yes, the Leafs did lose again. Didn't get out of the first round. Fought hard, not hard enough, I don't think. I think they could have played a little harder and won that game a lot easier. They didn't win the game. They lost. Anyways, and a little side note story. I was playing a great bar. We love the place. Joe Perry's place in not Joe Perry from Aerosmith, Joe Perry from Woodstock, and we played in Woodstock last night. And at Nico's, love playing Nico's. Place was pretty much empty because I think everybody was at home watching the Game 7. But we watched Game 7 on about 7 big screen TVs all around us, and yeah, one of those things where I think it's just customary that I be on stage when Leafs lose some big game or whatever. When they went out last year, Jacob and I were at the block for whatever game that was. I don't know. Don't know. It's now summer in a lot of ways in my mind. I'm still gonna watch. I'm still gonna cheer for Edmonton, but anyways, for hockey fans out there, my condolences. Cheers to the Leafs that almost got our hopes up for a little bit. You have to do it in small spurts. Eh? When they win those games, it's like, that's great. This is all I'm gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. So savor those moments. Anyhow, I opened up with where's that sound? I had it there. There it is. Really nice, eh? Open D tuning. I'm not a chord voicing genius there, as you might have thought, but it's an open D. D, A, D. So D is down, A and D are the same. F sharp, down to F sharp on the G, down to A on the B, and down to D on the E. Nice open chord. Anyhow, Christopher Cross wrote that on a guitar that he had in what we call a Joni Mitchell tuning. He apparently hung out with Joni Mitchell, and when you go to Joni Mitchell's house, apparently all the guitars are tuned in all these different open tunings, and this was one of the ones that he kind of picked up, and just this song just came out apparently in a few minutes there. Yacht rock. Yacht rock's great, and of course he's sailing too, but yeah, Christopher Cross's birthday was this past August. August. I always get the A months messed up. Does anyone else do that? April. It's not April. What am I talking about? It's May. May 3rd. It's my birthday's this month. Anyhow, he's turned 73. Saw an amazing interview with Rick Beato not long ago, probably 2 months ago, and you should watch that video, even if you're not a Christopher Cross or a Yacht Rock fan. He subbed for Deep Purple for Richie Blackmore when they first, one of the first early tours, he was just kind of hanging out, and he said they kind of played all the hits. He knew all the hits already, and played a bunch of blues and stuff like that, and got through the show. Pretty incredible. Yeah, and apparently he's going to be featured in there's some kind of Deep Purple documentary going on that, that mentions that he's the only guy who ever subbed for Blackmore. Incredible, stories and stuff like that. He apparently talked to Jimmy Page to get a high watt. He apparently high watt amps. I don't know if I can turn my camera and show you my high watt back here. I have a 74 high watt power amp back here. Here it is on top of the Marshall, right there. Yeah. It's 74, I think. I look at serial numbers. High watts were made in some guy's garage, Mr. High Watt. I don't know his name. I don't know. But anyways, in England, you can just get them. I mostly the big guys got them. The Townsends, Page, David Gilmour, those guys all had these high watts, and the high watts are still around. You can still get a high watt now, but it's obviously the name is being manufactured by someone else or whatever. But maybe, I don't know. So check the facts on that, you guys. You forensic guys. Check the facts on that. But apparently, he talked to Jimmy Page, and Jimmy Page gave him a phone number, and Christopher Cross called the number, and they said, "Oh yeah, sure." And sure enough, there was a high watt stack came to his door or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, the story's in Beato's interview. Don't listen to me here. Anyhow, yes, it is May. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of great shows and bands out there. And yeah, ticket prices are expensive. Pick and choose who you want to see. Bear in mind, if you're into classic rock and older guys, that are playing on stage these days, do your research on this, because if you're gonna go see Deep Purple, and my son wanted to see Deep Purple with me, and unfortunately I'm playing that night somewhere, but yeah, he wanted to go see Deep Purple with me, and he said he was he doesn't know all his forensics or whatever, but yeah, Richie Blackmore hasn't been in Deep Purple in a long time. Steve Morse left Deep Purple last year because his wife was ill. His wife sadly passed away this year, and they have somebody who I don't even know his name. I'm sure the guy's amazing, but he's in Deep Purple now. And then Yes is also on the bill, and Yes is pretty close to being a tribute band too these days, with Steve Howe at the helm, and I don't think there's anybody else that was on an original Yes album in Yes right now. Yeah. Oh wait, maybe Wakeman's in Yes. I don't know, because those guys flip around. I think John Anderson is out with Rabin, and Wakeman might be in that band. I don't know. Anyways, just do your research before you see bands these days. That's all I have to say. It might not be the guys that you were expecting to see on stage, which is okay. Like, I'm completely okay with a member going out there, as long as it's legal and stuff like that. And it should be, if you're part of that whole thing. I know there's a big mess with the Guess Who going on right now, which hopefully gets resolved soon. But there's always something to do with the Guess Who's name. Even Burton Cummings and Bachman couldn't use the name at one point. They went out as Bachman Cummings. So I don't know. It's a strange world out there right now. But like I said, getting back to what I was talking about, if you're going to go see a concert and spend the big bucks that it is now, just make sure you do your research and see what you're going to see for the money you're going to spend. If you're like me and live in the greater Toronto area, we are getting, I'm going to go out on the record and say we're getting fleeced for concert tickets in this area. And I think it's because it's incredibly expensive to tour in Canada and play live shows, and B, Toronto is probably the only Canadian date on a lot of tours for big name bands, and if you don't want to cross a border everybody from Canada or the surrounding Ontario, Quebec areas are going to come to Toronto to see these bands, and especially for our friends out in the Maritimes in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and you know, and of course Newfoundland, which is not part of the Maritimes, by the way. They just basically those people are gonna fly or drive in to see these bands because they don't go out there, and so that's why they'll fill places, jack prices, and I guess bands have expenses and they get paid in American dollars and they got to move all the gear across and all the people across, and that's all probably pretty expensive and hotels and all that stuff. So guess what? It costs a little bit more. Here's my tip for you people who live in the Toronto area: check out American gigs for the same bands. We have known. We went to Reading, Pennsylvania this year to see somebody. We saw Metallica in Pittsburgh a couple years back. We've gone to some shows in the States. Charlotte, North Carolina, to see Guns N' Roses once, way before COVID. Man, that was a long trek to see a show. Beware though, if you're used to seeing a primo Canadian concert, because I think they step it up a bit for us up here because they're big shows. Um, we went and saw Guns N' Roses in Charlotte, and they were obviously warming up a tour. There was things wrong. Roadies were putting down stuff while the band was playing, and then during the set, and it was an abbreviated set. Well, and Slash's guitar solo wasn't as long, so yeah, just be careful of that. You might be seeing the warm up gigs if you go to like Reading or Poughkeepsie and all the smaller towns and that. But your tickets are probably gonna be cheaper. That's all I have to say. Get those codes and all that kind of thing because it is expensive out there, and it is. So getting back to what I was saying about having a very healthy local live scene. If you do have a healthy local live scene, go see your friends and family and and go see tribute acts because tribute acts are going to be it for the next, I think, next 20 years. And why? Because concerts are now become for the elite and the rich if they can afford the tickets. Sadly, newer artists, I think the kids are going to try their best to go to pay for those tickets and get in there and pay for them. But yeah, what are you going to do? Anyways, what did I talk about today? Christopher Cross birthday, amazing. Great shredder guitar player too. I mean, not shredder, but as far as fluid playing and all that kind of thing. Christopher Cross, great stuff. Watch that interview. What else did I cover? The Leafs losing. Okay, we're not going to talk much about that. Let's talk a second though about you Boston fans. Okay, I've grown up as a Leaf fan, never changed. Why, I don't know. Just like the pain. Was beaten by Hab fans. Had Hab fans in my family. When the Habs almost went to the finals, that was just, it was a funny time. But the Boston fan. Okay, so what? You don't want to like the Leafs. You're not going to like the Habs. Remember the years of the Adams division? If you're old enough to know this, those were some tough years for Leaf fans. But man, the competition between Buffalo with the French Connection, Montreal with the stacked Guy Lafleur team, Dryden, Boston had the Esposito years and Don Cherry years, Gilles Gilbert, and almost Bobby Orr in that year, but then the Leafs, right? But so you didn't like those two teams, so you got to go to the next best original six team. Sorry. I know you won, but you're not going to get past Florida. There, I said it. And go on the record. Hopefully I don't eat those words. They weren't that good, man. If you're a Boston fan, you knew that team wasn't that great. The Leafs just didn't step it up and beat them. They didn't play that well, guys. Anyways, this is about guitars. This is my Squire. Beautiful Squire, made in Korea, early 90s. These guitars are phenomenal guitars. But this one, as you've maybe know my collection, if you could tell, it's been modded out a little bit, and I didn't do a lot of the mods on this. This came from a family that took lessons with Avalon, and I did a whole bunch of repairs on this guitar, and in the end they said, hey, something? Why don't you just keep it? Get you and your family can play it. And amazing. I'll never get rid of it. It'll always be here for whoever, if anyone out there is watching who knows this guitar. You'll have to pay for it now, of course, but I can't give it back to you after all the things I've done with it. Anyways, long shows again. Did you notice? I missed a show last week. I've never missed a show ever. I got to like Wednesday and go, should I just do the show and just tell people that I didn't post it? And it was. We had such an incredibly busy weekend last weekend. Gig on Friday night, rehearsal day on Saturday for a new project that I'm part of. All day rehearsal on Saturday. Taught Saturday in morning. Watched the Leaf game on Sunday. Had a little bit of relaxation. Could watch the Leaf game. During the Leaf game, I get a call from Jacob's agent that books him through Hamilton at 9 o'clock. They wanted us to run down to Hamilton for a gig. Now, the gear was everywhere because we had a truck out of U-Haul in the driveway because we had a benefit show the next day, which was all day Sunday. So guess what? I was so tired I didn't get to the show. Sorry for you guys. I don't think you noticed. I could have even said anything. But anyways, I have to go on the record saying that I didn't miss a week. The shows are all numbered. This is, I think, 2 something. I don't know. 218, 219. 219 was supposed to be last week. I've talked way too much. Have a great May. I'll see you next week. It's my birthday month. You guess my age. What's my age again? Anyways, talk to you later. See ya. Bye-bye.